Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Patreon episode where we talk about our favorite kinks. I'll go first. I'll go first.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love women. I love men that are good in Battlefield because my Red Sec teammates are garbage. I don't know why do you find these teammates. Game. I don't know why and how. And a good night's sleep. What are yours, Ray? What are your favorite kinks? Answer the bloody question, Ray.
Good aim. Good bullet. Good kill. Happy time. Much many sleep. Many
Okay.
good food.
Okay.
Happy guy.
Okay. Are they kinks?
My
I'm not
brain
sure.
is kind of melted.
Okay, I'm not. Yeah, I want to say, are they kinks? I don't think they're kinks, my dude.
They're kind of kinks. I like seeing a nice big old head explode from a 5.56 round. And
Oh yeah, you love a good head, huh? Anyway, welcome to the Patreon episode.
I love seeing that head explode.
Like I said, I love men that are good in Battlefield because my fucking teammates in Red Sec are just so garbage. Anyway,
I'm sorry I haven't played Red Sec in a while. My bad, buddy.
Anyway, welcome to the annual, traditional, end of the year review of our progress on the podcast, the Patreon, and everything we do in our content creation adventure. So we're gonna talk. Yeah. So if you're on Patreon, you're gonna be listening this early, 3 days early as usual. And if you listen to the public feeds, this is our last episode for the year. We're gonna be on holiday for 2 weeks. Well, week I guess. So we'll be back on. Let me check the date. The next episode is gonna be on the 6th of January. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you're gonna get it on the 4th or 3rd of January. So that's when we're coming back. So that's the plan. So yeah, welcome. We talk about ourselves in this episode. Very casual, as you can tell, not serious whatsoever. Just gonna talk about ourselves, how everything we did with the podcast, what we achieved, what we hate, what we want to improve. In certain cases, I'll be probably a little bit arrogant with everyone, including you, Ray, and in audience members and everything, because I'm gonna look at this from a creator producer's point of view. Because I'm the one that sees the full picture when it comes to this podcast. I see the full picture, what's going on. I see what's the audience reaction. I see I see all that stuff, right? And I have to observe, take it all in, and just see how what's going on, how people react to all of it, and so on. And yeah, so I'm so sorry if I sound arrogant sometimes, but that's the case. That's what I have to do to make sure that this podcast is actually going on a decent level, it's presentable, and people want to listen to it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's important, because at the end of the day, we're not making this show for ourselves to listen. It's for everyone to listen. So we kind of want everyone to be involved in all of this because hey, you're the listener. You want to listen. You want to listen to something fun and interesting. Whether that may be positive or negative. So that's that. And also, I do want to address the last episode that we did, for starters, for example. We lost we made some people mad on the last episode. And the last episode, we literally, I won't say bitching, more like criticizing the latest patch. Because, let's be honest, the patch was broken.
It wasn't perfect.
Perfect. Dude, not even near.
It wasn't even anywhere near perfect. It was barely tolerable.
So here's the thing. So people got mad at us. Some people got mad at us that we were really negative towards the game. Or we've been very negative. And because we weren't really negative on the last episode, for some reason, it kind of became the whole podcast of being really negative. And I'm like, there was some guy left a comment. Like, oh, I try to like you guys, but you always bitch about the game, always not happy. Yeah, the game is in limbo. Yes, I get it, but you should be more positive. Stop crying about everything and so on. And I'm like, I got so annoyed. Okay, granted, I don't get annoyed at comments. Whatever. Annoyed is maybe not the right word, but I'm just, dude. The patch, you said it yourself. The game is in a limbo, so you agree with our statements. And two,
But yet,
But two, what do you? Are we gonna remove 60+ episodes of other episodes where we actually being positive or neutral or whatever the case may be about the whole franchise and the game and so on? I mean, crap.
Not even that. I would present it this way. Like, look, what would that comment have been if, knowing full well that that patch isn't perfect, and we would have sat here the entire time and just glazed the goddamn thing? You know, that comment was in the opposite side of the spectrum. Like, well, what the hell are you guys doing glazing this shit? I mean, the hit reg isn't fucking perfect. There's this, that, and this, and what have you. I mean, look, guys, the whole point of us doing this is to be as objectively honest about shit as we possibly can be. Like, if credit where it is due, we will always give credit where it's due. We always have been, as far as positives go. Now, if there's negatives, it's not even, I don't even really want to say it's like our civic duty. It's kind of our obligation in order to kind of point that shit out and hammer it home. And there is, unfortunately, undeniably, unarguably, a lot of negative things going on with the game right now. Overall, big picture, the game's in a fairly okay state. It's not perfect. And I mean, we're not going to act like it's perfect either.
Compared to 2042, we're in a good state.
We're in a damn good state right now, boys, and we don't deny that. But the thing is we know it's not perfect. We know it can still be better, and that's why we go the routes that we do. Yeah, we applaud, we praise Battlefield Studios when they do something. When they do something good. We just sat here in pre-production. I just glazed the hell out of Julian for finally giving me an answer to a problem in this franchise for almost 15 fucking years now. Finally got an answer about that. And I applaud that. Now, granted, yeah, it took me 15 years in order to get an answer for this problem, but that problem was so obscure and so random and so, like, low priority that I'm amazed I even got an answer out of it. So credit where it's due. Yes, this has been a problem in this game for 15 years, but finally getting an answer on how to fix it or take care of it or make it tolerable on my end, I give credit where it's due. Now, I'm not going to sit here and glaze everybody and go, great job, guys. Thanks for finding my obscure problem and fixing it for me. What I'll sit here and go is yeah, this has been a problem for 15 years. Yes, it's been a problem for me personally and probably a handful of gamers. And now we finally have an answer. Great stuff. That's it. End of story.
So here's the thing with me, and also do the survey. The survey is still up, by the way. People just do the survey about the podcast, all that kind of stuff. Someone joked in the survey, I hate when Lanky says, "Here's the drink." He was joking, but like whoever wrote that, I'm like, fuck you for making that fun of me.
You British people, and here's your thing. Let me tell you something.
No, I do say
Let me tell you something.
I say that a lot. I do say that a lot. So but anyway,
the meaning of life skit popped in my head.
Yeah, what I was saying is basically, listen, I'm 3 years old. I really don't care what a random person says to me about the podcast or whatever, because I know what the podcast represents and how the podcast should be going. Don't get me wrong. There's moments like that I'm not happy with the podcast, how it's going. Here's the facts. Here's simple facts. We're the best Battlefield related podcast on the planet. It's just the fact. It's not an opinion. It's just a fact. Because I listen to other ones. They're not that consistent. They're not that prepared or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I listen to them because I want a different perspective. But the way I want us to do the show, I want us to be, professional as much as we can. But at the same time, I want us to be reasonable and honest with ourselves. And like I said, I'm 30 years old. I don't give a shit if someone doesn't like what I have to say. If I'm gonna start bending my knee towards these comments on people saying, well, you should cry less and so on, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm sorry. Fuck you. I have my opinion. I'm being honest with myself, and I'm being honest with you. And I don't think, like Ray said, I don't think you want us glazing the update would be much more horrible than us being honest about the update.
Absolutely.
It will be it will be much, much more horrible. So I don't really care what that comment says. But at the same time, I do read the comments. I do, read the survey results and all that kind of stuff. Like, ask, hey, What you think should be improved, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's some comments in the survey that says, oh, you shouting too much sometimes and so on. Like, yeah, maybe I agree with that. Sometimes we do, and I think but at the same time, it's not like we do that all the time or on a regular basis. It's just sometimes when the emotions take over, and I'm like, I think that's normal. Also, what I was talking to the missus about this. I was talking to the wifey about the podcast, and I just said, like, I was kind of ranting to her, like, why people put us on a pedestal that of, like, when someone else says stupid shit that it just doesn't make any fucking sense, they'll be like, yeah, you saying the right things and so on. But when we say stupid shit, like, we get shut on. And I think Matea, my missus, she raised a good point. Well, you guys are the gold standard right now, so there's more eyes on you. So I guess it does make sense. But at the same time, maybe just because we're the gold standard right now on Spotify or wherever, or any audio platform regarding Battlefield, sure. At the same time, we're just two dudes, honestly. I'm just two. Listen,
I'll put it this way: the best we have been down the road of absolute on the nose, 100% professional. Have to be notes down to the wire of what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, when we're going to say it. We've been down that road before. We tried doing it that way when we first got going. It didn't work. It became so sterile and so just lack of a basic soul that we hated it. We absolutely hated it. There are episodes of this show that we did back in the day that I absolutely fucking hate. We tried that sterile approach. I don't have any episodes in mind, but I'm pretty sure it was like third or fourth of the original season because we were still trying to get our structure together. We were still trying to figure out what the appropriate amount of guests was going to be, the appropriate runtime. I mean, this was when we were first trying. I think this was also around the time we tried doing LGG. I tried doing LGG and it didn't work because the editing was just too much. I mean, we have this luxury about us right now that we've been doing this for so long that we kind of have our shit figured out. And in a way, I'm kind of honored that we are being held to that standard. It kind of shows just how far we've come over the years. That now it used to be that we were the ones that could say whatever the fuck we want and nobody would care. We were at that point at one point or another. Let's not get our own heads up our own asses on this. We were at this point at one point in time ourselves. We didn't just come out the gate and be number one. Period. I mean that's fucking arrogant presumption at its finest. We were not. We were not this organized. We were not this structured. We were not. And I mean, a lot of people would look at the way we do things and go, well, they're not really that structured. I mean, we kind of are. We're structured just enough so that everything feels natural, everything seems natural, because the whole goal at the end of the day was to make this podcast seem like just a casual conversation. Two dudes, three dudes, whatever, a couple people, guests, just bullshitting about the game, what they like about it from consumer standpoints, from gamer standpoints, from, standpoints inside the industry, outside the industry, people with industry knowledge, people who are, we have tried and we've pulled from all walks of the fucking spectrum in order to get this show to where it is right now. So I'm kind of flattered that we're being held to this standard in a way.
Sure,
I don't
but
see it entirely as a bad thing. I see it as kind of like one of those, like, look, this is the result starting to kick in. We've busted our asses to get to this point, and yes, it feels good in order to say that. I mean, dude, seriously, if we would have if we would know that this is where we'd be at, okay, let's say 5-6 years ago, would we believe ourselves? I wouldn't. I'd be going, are you fucking kidding me? There is no way we're the number one Battlefield-related podcast on Spotify right now. There's no fucking way. I don't believe you. Shut up. I would punch myself in the face for saying that, just for lying.
And that's not the disrespect to other podcasts and so on. But,
no, not at all.
But it's just the fact that we're the most consistent one. We're the most prepared one. And I actually take this on a serious level, And like I said, I listen to others because I want to support other ones and so on, but I just stating the facts. It's just like and okay.
The other thing I wanted to say real quick, you made the comment about some feedback being ignored. I don't really like saying that personally. What I would say is, instead of just some of your feedback is just not great.
I mean, when,
to me, there's values as far as feedback goes. Okay?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So, for example,
the feedback that comes back and just goes, "You guys suck," and
yeah, but for example,
is a lower value feedback to me than the feedback that comes and goes, hey, I don't like the fact that Ray coughs every once in a while. His mic placement is a little.
That would be me. That would be me. Fuck you, Ray. Do you know how the production is so fucking slow because of your fucking coughing?
Unfortunately, I can't help it. I am trying in order to quit vaping. I'm trying to quit smoking marijuana. But I do my best with mic placement and everything in order to kind of lessen that. And I understand that is a headache on top of you in order to have to edit that shit out.
Takes ages. Takes
that
ages.
Is why but again, that's why I'm trying to take steps in order to modify that and make that change. Unfortunately, I have to kick that into high gear, what with having a son on the way. It is what it is. But that being said, it used to be way worse back in the day because I would chain smoke on while we were fucking recording. It was way worse. I have gotten better with it over the years. Trust me. Hell, there were mornings where I would take and do this show hungover like a motherfucker, and Tom would have to drag my ass in order to get this shit done. And I don't feel proud about those days. I don't feel happy about those days.
Over the years recording with you, I did notice if you're not if you're so fucking tired or whatever the case may be, you're not gonna be into it whatsoever.
No.
And you're gonna be fucking grumpy about everything no matter what, and then suddenly you're ranting about something that makes no fucking sense. How the fuck we ended up here?
Sometimes those episodes are entertaining. Sometimes we get entertainment gold out of it. But it's very far few and in between to the point where I have realized that had to change.
Depends.
I did that. That wasn't anybody telling me I had to do that. I opted and I volunteered, stepped up, and started doing it myself. Because even I'd realized it. There was one day a fucking while ago where I'd seen just how many goddamn timestamps you had in from my fucking coughing fits. I get it. I understand that.
Because
I'm a professional voice actor. Believe me, this shit pisses me off more so than anybody could possibly imagine. And
can you guys believe it? Okay, so what was it, 2 episodes maybe ago? I was making notes in the document every time you cough, so I know what to where to cut it, because sometimes I miss 1 or 2. Because I'm so tired, I can't be. I was like, it's 2 a.m. in the fucking night. I'm like, bro, I wanna sleep or whatever. Instead of playing some video games, I have to do this. So annoying.
And that's not fair to you at all.
And at one point, what was it it was 25 notes just on Google Doc documents, just with the timestamps, everything keep off. It was so fucking bad. I'm like, I wanna kill myself.
Well, not just that, and it's not even just about my smoking habits either. I mean, if I get exposed to something at work, if I do a lot of painting in a day or something like that, it affects me. I work with my hands. I work in a shop. I work in a dusty ass environment. I have allergies. I live in goddamn Florida. I don't know how. I mean, I'm not making excuses here, folks. I'm just letting you know, there are reasons why that shit happens. I'm doing my best in order to control it as best as I possibly can. Some things I don't have control over. That is something I'm going to have to accept and understand as a soon-to-be parent as well. That there are just things in this life that I cannot fucking control. I just have to put the effort in to control the things that I can. That being said, that's why I'm trying to quit smoking. That's why I'm not really smoking as much while we are recording or anything, because back in the day I used to be bad with that shit. It didn't matter. I didn't care. I'd smoke on camera. I'd smoke on fucking mic. I didn't care. Now I care. I care. And that's evolution. That's evolving. That's making things better.
You know what was my actually sin, I guess, when it comes to podcast recording? I do get sometimes too emotional. Back in the day, I was really emotional. Back in the day, I was a really emotional person that just spoke. Yeah, I was speaking the truth, but boy, I was not diplomatic about my truths.
You also not only this, and again, this we're not attacking each other on this too. You also had this habit of, and this is one thing that I get accused of a lot, is cutting you off or slowing you down or shutting you down. The thing is back in the day, before I used to do that more often, Tom would go on a fucking rant and be on that bitch for 45 minutes to an hour to the whole damned episode. So there is a reason why sometimes I have to jump in and kind of put that wall up and go, okay, time to flip over to the other side of the discussion. Time to change the narrative a little bit right now. That is not me trying to be rude to Tom or anything like that, and I don't want anybody in order to think that. That is literally something that he and I have had to come up with to keep the conversation back and forth. Because I promise you, I'll do this. If anybody wants me to do this, the next episode that him and I sit down and record, I'll let my man just go. I'll sit here with a fucking with some coffee in my hand, and you watch me on camera just sip this bitch the whole time. And if I don't let him stop sometimes, he'll keep going.
Because I started doing more solo episodes because you were not available or whatever the case may be, so but the episode had to come out. I can talk for an hour just fine. And I maybe can do even longer. Like hosting an episode by myself, as long as I have some notes in front of me, and I know what I need to talk about, as long as I know that what I need to talk about, I can talk for an hour just fine, with no problems.
Yeah, you can stay on topic, you can stay on, I mean, you're good with it. I give you that.
I can...
Early back in the day, we had this problem. We weren't staying on a straight line as far as the conversation would go. We would kind of
I go back. Yeah.
And you have. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of became more organized regarding that, and like notes there for a reason, you know, and I kind of like learned myself, I guess, taught myself how to like keep the topic going, but like and move on when I need to move on. Sometimes I repeat myself, but I think that's normal with anyone that's like talking to some sort of microphone. They do repeat themselves. That's just normal. But yeah, I thought like this, for example, this whole year, you know, I'm not gonna go to deals. The stuff that happened, for example, last year, 2024, like with everything with the podcast and the live and everything. This year was quite educational for me because I kind of learned more about myself and kind of taught myself and educate myself in certain areas. And I'm like, I'm so happy where I progressed because it's just such a nice thing to look at. Like, wow, I was like this last year, and now I'm this kind of person this year. And there's so many things that I learned, and I'm glad I did. And I think I became a better person, a better host, and all that kind of stuff because of that. And, for example, let's go through the total audience. What kind of numbers we got this year? So, for example, this year, we got an increase of audience members by 368% on the podcast, comparing to the last year. 368%. That's a jump.
That's 3.5 times more. I mean, yeah, mathematics.
Yeah, the graph is literally just being static, like going up slowly, and then right before Battlefield 6, we went fucking up by almost 400%, and we stayed there for the remaining of the year since the game was announced. And what I love, like what I'm proud of, honestly. And I think, for example, people say like, oh, how do you stay motivated, you know, let's say go to the gym or do this, whatever, right? It's not the motivation that kept me. Yeah, some motivation, of course. But because we managed to get the routine, even when you're not available, right? I still force myself to like, no, we have to release a podcast every week now, no matter what. And we haven't missed a beat for the last 7 months. And I'm glad, like, that's routine that just like, and you can tell the audience never left. Sure, we lost some people, got angry at us about something we said, but you know what?
I mean, we're gonna have ebbs and flows.
That's life. Like I'm sorry, I can't please anyone. That's the thing. I'm 30, right? I'm 30. I'm not gonna be esports ready or whatever the case may be. And the last thing I want is gonna appeal to everyone. I'm sorry if you don't like me. That's okay. You know what? I'm glad we like can say good luck to each other, and that's okay. But I'm not gonna try to appeal to everyone just because, I don't like your opinion and so on. Well, if it took you, okay, if you've been listening for 10 episodes and it took you 1 episode for you to change opinion about me, then that's on you, not on me. I'm sorry.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's on you.
I don't know what to tell you in that case.
Yeah, that's on you, not on me. If you've been listening for this long and suddenly I said something you don't like it and suddenly you go, oh, this person sucks. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you never liked me in the first place, you know?
One of the things that I've always loved about being able to do this show is that we've always, I don't know when exactly we finally got this philosophy like shoved into our brains, but we finally got to this point where we realized it's like one of the best things that we have is we can always agree to disagree. As far as between you and I, between us and the fan base, between us and the player base, we can always agree to disagree because that's what makes this thing work the best. It's not just we're spitting facts and these are the facts.
I think I can answer that. Why? Because you and me represent different demographics in the franchise.
Right.
Because I personally I think I'm in the camp of, I care about aesthetics, I care about that stuff, but at the same time, if they introduce fucking Nicki Minaj into Battlefield, I would not fucking care. At the end of the day, I would care if the game is fun, if the game is still interesting to play and so on. Yeah, okay, sure, there's Nicki Minaj running around. You know what? I don't care. It's funny, but it will not ruin the experience for me. I'm here for the gameplay itself, for the, how can I get better at the game? How can I do, get myself better in this and so on? Grinding wins in Red Sec or playing in tournaments, whatever. Again, not esports, right? But I'm coming from, so I do prefer, for example, watching content creators that are better at the game or so-called professionals, right? And playing in tournaments and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of interested in that because I don't want to play the game for the sake of immersion, for the sake of, experience. I play for the sake of, natural competition. That's why I play multiplayer games, first-person shooter multiplayer games. That's why I'm get annoyed when developers start adding bot modes, casual breakthrough, all that kind of stuff. What are we doing? But I understand why they're there in the first place. And then you represent the other majority of the Battlefield community that's they just want to have a good, nice experience, They want to look at nice-looking, good soldiers that fit into the world.
The identity matters to me.
Identity
the aesthetics matter to me.
know.
Okay, they're not end-of-the-world shit. Yeah, if Nicki Minaj got added to Battlefield, I would be sitting here and being like, what the fuck are we doing, kids? That would be my side of it. I guess you could accuse me of being more along the lines of Grandpa Battlefield veteran in a way. I mean, I'm not really
The new term is Battlefield.
Battlefield.
The new term is Battlefield. To keep up with the times, Ray.
Battle Dad.
You Battle Dad.
Look, and I'm not going to lie. I have my Battle Dad tendencies. I know I do. I am stuck. I mean, I'm a fucking human being. When you hit a certain age, i.e. me pushing 40, you kind of get stuck in your ways a little bit. Everybody's going to be guilty of it at some point or another in your life. Please, for the love of God, do not stick your head that far up your own ass to think that you will never hit that point. Everybody does. I'm at this point in my life where I don't want to listen to new music because the old shit's better. I've reached that shitification part of my life. But that being said, I look at this game, I look at this franchise not as just a Battlefield vet player, somebody who's pretty much been playing this game since Bad Company 2 and before. I mean, I think the first game I picked up was Battlefield 2 on Xbox back in the fucking day. So, I mean, I have some serious time in this franchise. But to me, things like identity, standing out from the competition, standing out and being different from everybody else, it matters a lot to me. Team play aesthetics, getting together with the dudes and having just an awesome ass night, having fun, bullshit in voice chat, old school shit, VoIP like we used to back in the day. That type of shit appeals to me the most. On top of being able to look at this whole thing from the side of not just a consumer, but having some developer knowledge on hand to be able to look at things from the technical side and go, okay, well, I can kind of understand why this works this way. I don't understand why they're doing it this way when other games do things this way, like the discussion that you and I had in pre-production as far as aim assist and shit went. There's things where it makes sense to you, but it doesn't to me because on the technical side of things, I've seen other things work a different way, and I go, well, why can't they just, emulate that or do it that way? It doesn't make any sense. So we kind of conflict on that, and I think that's another thing that kind of adds some spice to the show too. But we've also been fortunate enough in order to meet individuals who have worked in the industry. I've been fortunate enough in order to be a game modder for a while, so I understand the workflow and everything like that as far as developing the mods and the balancing and the coding and all the rest of that shit. We've been fortunate enough in order to know developers personally that we were friends with still to this day for the most part, that have given us insights, and we don't repeat a lot of that insight just because of the fact of trust. I mean, I don't like saying it, but there is a lot of shit that Tom and I know that, honest to God, we really shouldn't fucking know, but we do.
That's true, yeah.
We will not ever. I honestly believe, look, and this is not even arrogant speaking, we are probably the only production in this franchise that EA could come to and say, we've got some super secret, top secret shit that we want to show you guys. Just you guys. Not saying this would ever fucking happen, but let's hypothetically say
there's
it
a
does
thing
happen,
called,
okay?
was it Battlefield Council or something like that? So imagine that, yeah.
Right, so imagine we got involved with that shit. I'm going to sit here with the absolute utmost confidence and say we are probably the only content creators in this franchise that would not need to sign an NDA, because us keeping our mouths shut about certain shit just goes without saying. And
Yeah.
it's been like that for 10 years. I'm telling you right now, Android, we know some shit we shouldn't know. And we've kept quiet about it. We've elected to keep quiet about it. My God, the amount of sensationalist shit we could have put out there, knowing some of the shit that we know. But would it be worth it?
Not
we
really.
would be burning bridges with these people
Yeah, exactly,
that
not
we
really.
cherish these fucking personal connections with. We love that. We love having their fucking friendship. It's not just about having their knowledge base at our fingertips. It's about that these are just great people in general. They're great people to talk to. They're great people to know. So we don't want to burn that bridge. And that philosophy will stay etched in stone in this show as long as both Tom and I are the ones doing this shit. Period. So I'm telling y'all, we're not the ones that would fuck you guys over. We'd be the last ones that would do it. If anything, we'd be the ones that would sit here and find the people that are We've done it. We've pointed out motherfuckers who have broke NDA and made you guys look like fucking fools and been like, well, that sucks.
Was it episode 42 when fucking... I'm not going to mention his name.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
we
going to
know
mention
who
his
it
name,
was.
but yeah, broke NDA. The reason we got so mad at him is because, one, we had different plans for the podcast and all that kind of stuff. And because you leaked all that shit, I'm like, it kind of puts everything in fucking disarray. Suddenly you have to talk about this and so on. And the thing is, like, it's not the first time he broke the fucking NDA. Listen, I don't give a shit if it's EA's fault. I don't give a damn. Oh, there was excuses like, oh, he didn't get the letter with the stuff. Like, so I guess I can share it. Bruh, this is not your first rodeo. What do you think? You fucking brain-dead idiot.
I'll sit here as somebody who deals with NDAs and contracts on a regular basis because, hello, professional voice actor. If I know I've signed an NDA, I don't need a copy of that shit to get it enforced.
Yeah,
I know I put my name on that
you know
fucking
how
dotted
it
line.
goes. You know because you know how it goes.
You know the game.
You know the
There's
game.
There's no excuse.
And that dude didn't. And I'm like, how? That's what I'm saying. Some people are so brain dead.
I'll throw this out there. I'll throw this out there for the hypothetical for anybody in EA who's listening right now. Okay, just because he did that as a content creator. Oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Not the first
Okay,
time. Not the
fine.
first time either.
Not even the first time. Let's flip this on its fucking head. Let's say one of your voice actors for Battlefield 6 violated NDA repeatedly and went out and was like, I'm the fucking main character in this game. Let's say you cast me and I did that shit. Y'all would have me blacklisted so fucking fast as a professional. And that's what pisses me off the most is the fact that I know how to behave in this industry. I know how to behave when it comes to shit like that. And we don't get invited to this shit. We don't even get bothered for this shit. At all.
Yeah, and
we've offered to do commentary. We've offered to fucking do live announcements for shows. And I know somebody in corporate sitting there going, well, you just said fuck like 4 times in a sentence. Yeah, I do have the ability in order to censor my freaking self. It's possible. I am a professional. But this is a lapsed, relaxed fucking production.
I also seen the people that, for example, get involved with EA regarding like the Battle franchise. For example, the Elite series, right? I've seen some people getting involved, get invited to events and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. I don't care about being invited to events. I really don't care. I really don't give a shit. Also,
I really don't either.
Yeah, I don't give a shit either.
Like
but the way they pick peoples for events and all that kind of stuff, I'm just like, really? Really? This is the people you picked? Really? You couldn't pick a... Like, but don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, well, I'm not gonna yeah, hey, if for that particular content creator, great, good, and so on. But I'm like, Really?
And on the flip side of it, it's not that I want to see, just Westy and Jack Frags and X Factor appear all over the place. I mean, don't get me twisted on that. I mean, I'm not trying to fucking bootlick.
Oh, I'm not even talking about. No, I'm not talking about big ones. I'm talking about like something specific people. But that's
again, it's not that I want to see. It's not that I want to see their endorsed content just flooded with the same people over and over again, because that's going to get stale really quick, and I get it. So I get why they're wanting to go out and get a wider range of content creators for some of this stuff. But it just feels like the type of vetting that should be done on these guys should be the same level of vetting that you guys would do to me if you guys would cast me in a role. I'm dead ass serious.
This is how it works, right? You have to it's not how you do it, it's who you know. It's always been like that. So certain people,
I get it.
Yeah, certain people involved with EA and the Battlefield franchise are not because of particular skill set or whatever the case may be. It's because they know each other. There's certain people I don't think there should be on that EA council thing, right? Listen, if you're on that Battlefield Council, EA Community Council, whatever it's called, I don't remember. If you're part of it, hey, good for you. That's fine. But from my point of view, I see a certain people that because I saw the credits, right? And I saw people are thinking, how are you? What kind of value bringing to this council? You're there because someone was nice to you from a marketing or development department, whatever, developer or someone was nice to you, right? And you guys became friends. That's why you got invited, because that's it. Oh yeah, this person was here a couple of times, so I can trust that person. Sure, yeah, that's a good thing to base on trust, right? The whole thing is built on trust.
Yeah, rapport is a thing.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm thinking, how are you here? What are you bringing here? You bring nothing valuable other than vibes, And sometimes vibes are not needed. Vibes are for video games, When it comes to serious stuff, you bring no value. And of course, listen, I'm not gonna start saying, oh yeah, you should not be on council. Hey, you're honest, you're fantastic. But it's just. But then again, I'm 30. I'm 30. I don't care anymore. I'm so beyond of caring about superficial stuff like that. Battlefield Council, Community Council. You know what? I don't give a damn.
Matter at the end of the day.
Is the game good?
It doesn't.
Is the game good? Yes. Okay. Is the game fun? Yes. Does it have problems? Yes. Can we fix them? Yes. Okay, that's fine. That's all I care about. Because at the end of the day, I just have to worry. I want to worry about myself. I want to worry about my podcast. I want to worry about my content. I don't give a fucking damn about Reddit screaming about something oh, this is Call of Duty and so on. You know what? I don't give a flying fuck.
Honestly, nobody should give a damn about Reddit.
Well, that too. Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things I just don't care. I'm beyond that point. And if EA, for example, does want to involve us in their development in some form, damn right we're gonna follow that NDA. Damn right we're gonna be honest with the feedback. Damn right we're gonna fight for what we think is right. Because
if they came at us and they were just they wanted to do with us like they did with Battlefield Friends, where they had us just fucking appear somewhere towards the. I mean, granted, it was campaign when they did that, so I mean, we were past that point where we'd be able to get asked that. But let's just hypothetically say they make a map and they want to have a radio sitting somewhere, and they just want to go, oh hey guys, could you record I don't know a half hour joke episode for us just to play over this radio, just to show that we're grateful for everything you guys have done to kind of acknowledge you in the community. You just got to sign this NDA, et cetera, et cetera. And here's the terms and conditions of it all. We would look at that, and not only would we internally be celebrating our fucking asses off, we would think that would be one of the biggest wins that we've ever had, but we would literally, you would never know in any of our productions that happened until it finally came out. We were cleared of NDA and we were allowed to talk about it. And then we would literally just spend an episode talking about what we could talk about as far as how the process went, interacting with them, how everything went, give our honest opinions on stuff. And it was a great experience. We had fun with it. We would totally do it all over again. We'd love to do it all over again. And if better things came with that, so be it. If nothing came of it, so be it. We would be happy either way. But I think the thing that kind of, like I said, I think the biggest gut punch for the two of us, more so than anything else, is kind of one of those things where it's we care about that we're not being included in this shit, but at the same time, we really don't, because we don't expect it. We never have.
No, yeah. I'm, 10 years ago, right, when we were doing the first ever Battlefield 1 podcast episodes, right, the first 42 episodes, back then I would probably care. Now I'm like, nah, I don't care, because I know what I want, I know what I want to say, I know what I want to do, and I'm like, the last thing I care is what EA thinks about me. Like, nah, bruh, I'm a consumer at the end of the day. You make the game, I pay. Hey, it's both. Hey, if I host a Battlefield related podcast, you make a good game, and then talk nicely about it, it's beneficial for both of us. Hey, you come in here and, I don't know, let's say EA gives me free codes for the game, like, to give away. Great! It's beneficial for you because I'm promoting the game and I'm being positive about it, and at the same time, it's beneficial for me because it brings viewers or whatever the case may be. Like, it's a two-way street. It can't be just one-way street. And certain companies I know are like that. Like, they want to make it, you have to do it this way and this way and this way, and otherwise you're not gonna get invited. I'm like, then go fuck yourself. I'm sorry, but
I'm not gonna change who I am.
I'm not gonna change. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna change who I am for your sake.
And I'm not gonna let you compromise the integrity of myself and the show that we put on because you want to dangle a carrot in front of my face. We made that point abundantly clear too.
I hate that.
I think we couldn't have made that point more abundantly clear than when we went out for Battlefield 1 reveal. We made that point abundantly clear. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're having fun. Yeah, we like this.
That was a vibe.
But ladies and gentlemen, you better pull your pants up because we are not kissing your ass. We never did. We never will.
At the end of the day,
to be honest, I think that sticking to that is one of the reasons why we are where we're at right now. We just will not compromise ourselves.
At the end of the day, it's a business transaction. At the end of the day. Okay, going back on self-review and so on, all that kind of stuff. For example, where did I see it? Oh, so I got this interesting stat. For this year, on Spotify, our show outpaced 94% other shows on Spotify in terms of growth. So we're in the top 6% in terms of growth compared to other podcast shows. So that's a good stat to have. That's a really good stat. So the plan for the next year, we're gonna still continue with the weekly episodes, of course, because this is working. This is so on. Sure, we kind of hit a plateau right now in terms of new listeners, because we're just like, all right, we hit that point. We never really down, but we never really went up. So we just kind of stayed plateauing this time. So we do have a really dedicated core audience that really enjoy listening to us, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, like, yeah, guys, I appreciate that you guys, subscribing to Patreon or, listening to us on a regular basis, or joining our Discord and talking to us and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you guys. Like, guys, you guys are amazing. Like, fuck yeah. But at the same time, I kind of have to be realistic. Like I said, again, I'm a 30-year-old man. I have to think about this a bit more deeply. How do I promote this podcast to more people? Because I need this podcast to grow. And listen, I do want to get more Patreon subscribers, because if I get more Patreon subscribers, that means more monetary value and maybe I can make more episodes. I can maybe skip a day of work just to work on the podcast, whatever the case may be, or maybe make more episodes on that kind of stuff, right? So I kind of need to think about that kind of stuff. Yes, I am not making a living from hosting this podcast. No, of course not. But would not be a bad thing.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
And I know the audience is there, but it's just because the Battlefield as a franchise has been abused so much with bad games and lack of interest. It's kind of hard to people to realize, like, oh wait a minute, there's a podcast about Battlefield. Like, who's the idiot who hosts a podcast about Battlefield? Like, just like,
who the hell would do that?
Insanity. So that's our problem. We have a really good, dedicated audience, but thing is, it's just like it doesn't go out to other people, to the general public, and I need to figure out how for the next year, for this upcoming year, how to do that. So there will be some changes. Like, I will try to do some different way of shorts. I'll try to use the website a bit more. Oh, speaking about the website is it's good that it's there, but the way it worked in there, it kind of became a failure. So unfortunately, the website is kind of burning money for me in this case, because like people didn't really check it out and so on. And if they want to do the survey, like I said about the podcast, they usually just go to the alternative link today's Google, that's their website and so on. So it was kind of hard to drag people to like, oh yeah, just go to BattlefieldOne.net, and read about everything, all that kind of stuff. It's a good idea. It is a good idea, but it didn't bring more people to the podcast. It didn't bring more audience listeners. And when I was writing articles on the website, for example, from the conversations we had about on the podcast, because that was the idea. For example, try to share it on Reddit just to see what kind of traction, and the comments I get and everything. It was just like, instead of people reading it as a opinion piece, people just got mad, like, oh no, you're fucking idiot, and so on. And I'm like, okay, so it's kind of pointless then to write articles
That's
from the
fucking Reddit in general.
I know, yeah, I know.
I
I know. It's Reddit, but then again, it's kind of hard to promote yourself, and Reddit was like the perfect place to get someone to read the articles,
to get some sort of opinion to it. Yeah, I get it.
And because people so extreme in their reviews, it's either bad or good, and there's nothing in the middle. So. And because it was
which is a huge problem in this day and age.
Yeah. So writing opinion pieces from the conversations we had on the podcast and make them into articles sounds really good for intellectual human beings, like, a different perspective to look on like, hey, I don't want to listen to the whole podcast, but hey, I can read an article what they in 3 minutes and see what they talked about,
get a quick summary on what happened, and if I want to listen to it later on, I can. I mean, it's a good idea even.
And I got some fucking comments like, oh, you're a fucking idiot for saying that. Like, I'm like, okay, so it's pointless then to do that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, so that's why I was not promoting the website that much anymore, because right now the website is just like a archive basically of our episodes and so on. It's like a nice hit. Just
honestly, I just leave it. I mean, I know it's probably a bitch in order to keep maintaining, but I mean, it for that purpose.
I mean, it's not that bitch, but yeah.
But I think another frustration point from us that we're getting a lot is that we're realizing too, and it's starting to come to the surface more and more in the productions that we do. It's the sheer fact that we don't just want to do the podcast. I mean, we love doing this podcast, don't get me wrong, but I mean, everybody, especially in our audience, sit back and think at how many times we have complained over the last year because we just don't have the time or the tools to go back to making cinematics and trailers and stuff like that. And I know they're working on getting us the tools. I know they've made that comment that they're working on spectator mode and they're working on this and that. And I mean, and that's cool. But what's infuriating, even just from my standpoint on it, is it's like one of those like failure to launch type deals. Like, when the hell is this shit going to hit so that we could have a chance in order to do this stuff? Because I would love to do a follow-up to Final Transmission and continue that onward and do something like that for Battlefield 6. I mean, there's a good variety of skins and shit and visual differences now. We could definitely get away with having a diverse cast of characters and shit, and just using skins to do it. The problem is we don't have the tools to film with. We don't have the time.
Here's the thing. I was actually, yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, I was actually thinking, well, we do have the tools. We have the portal and everything to make some cinematics and everything. That's fine. We can make it. But I'm just thinking, what's the end goal here? I was literally just going through music tracks and everything, thinking, oh, if I could use this, maybe I can do that, and so on. Just brainstorming ideas, right? And I'm just thinking, what's the end goal here? That's the problem. What's the end goal? And then when it comes to podcasts, for example, there's so many things I want to do on the podcast and just all that kind of stuff, right? But I literally either don't have the time or don't have the... it's the problem with me, for example, me personally. I'm trying to do so many things at once. And it's so difficult as one human being. For example, I try to go back to YouTube because, listen, I realize like YouTube is a fucking shit show right now, but it's a valuable tool to have it there. It does promote you as a person, it's kind of needed there. So now I just need to decide if I want to do like long form videos still, because I know no matter what I do, they're not gonna get that many views, and that's the problem. So do I want to make it shitty weekly videos about something? Or do you want to make it a bit longer, more meaningful, and maybe evergreen content, right? Hopefully that evergreen content will get some views as time goes on. But I don't know. Like, do I want to dedicate my time to that?
My idea, and I feel like this would be the easiest route for us in order to be able to pull this off. clearly long-form video content isn't the thing anymore like it used to be back in the day. Like
if you're a big YouTube, if you're a big content creator, it will do well. If you're not, that's more difficult. That's the problem.
Right. So right now, one of the shit that always hit the biggest for us was trailers. Okay, and they never were any more than about 2 or 3 minutes each.
Took weeks to make.
I know. I was getting to that, and I know that there is a workload involved with making those. What I would say is, if we could take and sit down and hammer out some form of a narrative that is miles better than the campaign that I have yet to play to see just how pitiful the narrative is in that, jokes aside, if we could take and figure out how to set a narrative up that we would have a mission going through a map and we would have 6 episodes tops per map. And we would be able to have an interconnected narrative where the videos are like maybe 4.5, 5 minutes long tops. Just enough in order to get your interest, bring your interest up, kind of hook you a little bit, and give you something in order to look forward to in the next episode. We just have a cast of characters or a squad of characters, and it's not something that like we take completely serious of itself, but we're not like red versus blue levels of parody. You know, we could have our jokes, we could have our gags, we could have our subtleties to it. I feel like something like that, if we would be able to pull it off, would do exponentially better than what we think. Because, personally speaking, there seems to be a want for shit like that. Look at how much begging and pleading there's been for Battlefield Friends to just come back.
Yeah, true.
And I know that's not just the vets and the Battle Dad community asking for that. Once they made that presentation at the Game Awards, you can see their demand is coming back. So there is a demand for this type of like narrative content. And I feel like if we could take and get our feet on the ground and get even just a proof of concept going. Like even if we just the longest video we make is like a 10-minute proof of concept to kind of just introduce everything, introduce the narrative. This is what we're planning on doing with it. And then we make the 5-minute episodes or the 4-minute episodes after that. I personally think that would be great. The problem being is you're talking about getting Portal set up with NPCs and bots to be able to make some of these shots work. You're talking about having Tom be the cameraman. I would have to be the actor and do all of the physical filming when we want specific motions and movements and shit like that. Now, again, not saying that the bots couldn't fill in some of these roles. We've certainly got more robust tools in order to do this now with Portal than what we ever did with Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1. Let's not kid ourselves on that front. And then not only shooting it, then doing the audio engineering of it, then I've got to come in, do the voiceover.
Yeah, go straight to the point. It will take a long fucking time.
It is a huge undertaking for just 2 people in order to do, especially 2 people with full-time jobs.
Podcast host and so on. People have to realize why you think I'm gonna just like listen. Even right now, it's even with lack of I don't know. Making shorts, all that kind of stuff, like, even without that, it still takes a fucking wild time to, edit the podcast, publish the podcast, prepare the notes, all that kind of stuff, make sure that the show is interesting to listen, no matter if someone is gonna complain, oh, you guys cry too much, doesn't fucking matter, it has to be entertaining for at least 80% of the people, one way or another, it takes time. And like I already said for the last, 4 months now, I need help. And speaking of help, like, For I think we can move on just to end for the last 10 minutes. I need to plan the podcast for the future that Ray's not gonna be available here on a regular basis. So I'm, for example, thinking, okay, how do I do this? Like, sure, you guys can listen to me, I guess, solo, but at the same time, I guess I'll have to bring more guests just to make it more entertaining, because I don't think you want to listen to the same. LankySoldier talks about this time around, like about this time around, like this week or something like that. Sure, maybe you love my voice that much, maybe, but I know my mainstream audience is not gonna be like that, unless I'm a really big content creator that like on the same level Jack Frags, then maybe people will care what I have to say, but I'm not. That's the problem. I'm not. So now I have to, and Ray actually mentioned at the start of this episode that hey, he's gonna have a child soon. I need to, we already talked about behind the scenes. Okay, I need to plan now the future of Ray not being available for some time. And it's not.
At the very least, 4 to 6 months after my
See,
baby.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking deeply. What's gonna be in a year or two, right? So now I need to like think something in the future. It's like, yeah, all right, I'm not gonna have Ray for like a couple of months. Okay. What then? all right. I host the podcast by myself. Okay, what then? We're gonna continue the same thing, year 2, year 3, and so on. Battlefield 7 is announced. Wow, we're gonna continue the same thing? No, we have to adapt. I have to somehow come out with something that is interesting for people to listen in the future. So I'm just thinking. Oh, also, as I can already mention,
I know where you're coming from, buddy. But let me kind of just stop you and put a pin right here where we're at right now. Look, I have already discussed the possibility of quitting voice acting because of recent things that I found out pertaining to my career, as well as things that are impending in my life. My wife won't let me. Period.
That's a good thing.
She won't let me quit this, and she won't let me quit voice acting. As much as I am, and I'm not going to get into detail about this, but as much as I am utterly fucking defeated about my career right now, I'm not quitting because I'm not allowed to. And I'm not going to get mushy or anything like that, but because I'm having a son, it's more of a drive to want to make this shit work more. Because to be honest with you, I am not going to raise my child and know in the back of my head I didn't do every fucking thing I possibly could in order to better my life so that I could better his life and give that kid shit that I didn't have growing up, like stability and income and the ability to go on field trips and shit. Like my child, I was raised broke as fuck, ladies and gentlemen. I had to fucking bust my ass for everything I've got and everything I've owned, just like many other people in this world. And one of the reasons why we didn't really want to have kids is because my goal is to make a life better. That should be everybody's goal. We realistically couldn't do that. Now I don't have a choice. Now I'm going to push for that shit. So I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling every audience member that is listening right now, I am not going anywhere on a permanent basis. I may be gone for a few months. I may not be up to full speed for a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, I am not going anywhere. I may step off into the night for a little bit, but I am not going to disappear. I will still be watching. I will still be looking. I will still be formulating my opinions. And when the day comes that we do get a hold of our own place out that way, and I can get back up full steam and running, bet your ass I will be right back in this seat like nothing's changed. I make that promise right here and right now. Nothing is going to change on that front. Okay?
I was thinking I can mention it right now. So, for example, I'm kind of disappointed that Patreon was kind of growing slowly, and I think I understand why though, because we live in kind of hard financial times. We're not the only ones experiencing this. That hey, we're not getting a lot of for the listeners we have right now. We should be having more patrons, so much more patrons than we were supposed to. For the listeners we have right now, we should be having much more patrons. But we're not. And I'm listening to other podcasts, I listen to other shows and see how they do and all that kind of stuff. And thing is, we live in such a weird financial times these days. I understand that not everyone can afford, because also we live in a subscription era.
Disposable income is at an all-time low right now.
Listen, for example, I was listening to Linus Tech Tip, the van show, the thing, and they were talking about they be getting a lot of charges back. So when they subscribe to their service or the Flowplane thing, right? They get loads of errors saying that insufficient funds, and that's for a lot of their subscribers because they couldn't pay for the subscription. They're getting that a lot, and apparently that one of the hosts, Luke, he talks to other people in other industries. They're getting the same thing, for example, in insurance or whatever the case may be, or some other entertainment stuff. That's a regular thing. So us not getting patrons, it's kind of the same thing. So we experience the same thing as everyone else. And yes, patrons is not doing really well, but that's because the world is not doing well. We are in some sort of weird financial crisis.
Not just that either. I mean, we've always kind of had this internal debate between us about the fact that And I mean, this is an undeniable fact. Both you and I agree that even for the $1 that we're asking for the lowest tier,
Okay, this what
there either.
Also, right, this is what pisses me off. Majority, you need to stop saying $1 because we never offered that. We never offered that. But
really, I thought we did have a $1 tier.
We had almost a $2 tier. So, but here, okay, so
But even still, on our lowest paid tier, like, I don't feel like the value's there for that. I feel like we should be giving them more.
So what happened when mentioning Patreon is because I changed some stuff on Patreon. So the last change I did was a year ago. So I made certain tiers cheaper, and I added more content into certain tiers. So with this starting now, as you listen to this, I changed the Patreon again. So we had back in the day, like before this change, we had 3 tiers. We had the passionate, the supporter, and the enthusiast. So it was $1.60. It was just a donation, nothing else, just a donation. Then with the proper tier, which is $5, you're getting all the extra content, which is the exclusive episodes, live gaming gathering episodes, which is this, but not the public ones. 50 plus episodes, all that kind of stuff. Then there's other show that I host by myself, just me ranting about stuff that in my life, and then some other stuff. And then there's the enthusiast, which is basically everything before that, but with behind the scenes on top. So you can watch all the behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff, whatever. So that was how it was before. So we're changing. So now we have a $2 subscription. So I'm up the donation thing from $1.60 to $2. And it's because this tier, the first tier, will offer early access to BattlefieldOne podcast. Only BattlefieldOne podcast, because I understand the majority of our listeners listen to the podcast, and that's what the majority of our audience is. So I'm like, okay, financial times are not good. All right, this is what I'm going to do. $2 on Patreon will give you access to the episodes, like the tier before, like the $5 tier. Will give you early access. The second tier basically will give you, which is renamed to enthusiast, will give you all the exclusive episodes to nothing changed on that. Nothing can change on that. So you're getting the same, exclusive episodes, everything that was before. Price is not changing, but you are getting behind the scenes words on top of that. So we move in the highest tier perks to the medium tier. So you're getting more value now from those $5. So the price is not changing. You're just getting more stuff now.
The other thing I would kind of maybe
and the third tier,
is, maybe anybody who's listening who is a Patreon member or who's on the fence of becoming a Patreon member, what would you guys want? What else would you guys want to see? I mean,
do let us know. Yeah, do let us know.
I've had ideas about we could do an exclusive Let's Play series where we just do short Let's Plays, quick chop down highlights of, gaming sessions between you and me, because I could record my perspective and my mic, you can do yours. The audio quality is not going to be identical, but I mean, shit, it's doable. The thing is would anybody want to see that? Would anybody want to see Tom and I playing, or Tom and I and Patreon buddies or Discord buddies playing Battlefield and, just kicking it around and having a good time? And, we're not even necessarily talking about the game all the time. We could just be doing, whatever, talking about what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
If there's an interest for stuff like that, I mean, please, by all means, tell us. We are capable of making quite a wide range of content. We've done pretty much just about every form of content there is on YouTube out there at one point or another. We've done Let's Play series before. We've done cinematics and trailers. We've done explanatory podcasts. We've done educational shows to educate about gameplay mechanics and shit like that. We've done just about a little bit of everything, so we're versed in this stuff.
Do let us know.
So yeah, let us know.
Because
you guys want to hear? You guys want a series where we just pick a gun and we just talk about it, and it's a background thing for like 15-20 minutes between the two of us, and that's it. I mean, with some gameplay footage of it, what we think is the better builds for it per our play standards, or how we like, things like that. You want those little bit more personal content connections. We'd happily make that stuff. We just need to know whether you guys are actually going to like it or not, or actually watch it. So if you're on the fence, please let us know. Tell us.
So these Patreon changes literally made each tier much better and basically cheaper. And the last tier, which is I literally decided to call the Glucose Guardian. I decided to call it the Glucose Guardian. It's basically the same tier as the second tier, like the Enthusiast. That you're getting everything so on, but it's double the price. Why? Just because some people are like that. And because we have 4 members on that tier, on the original price, which was $8. Now it's 16. Now, the original people that pay $8 right now for that tier, they'll stay on that price forever until they unsubscribe. So if you're subscribed to Patreon to some old price, you will keep the old price until you unsubscribe. That's only fair. That's only reasonable. I will not.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck you up. Yeah, exactly. If you've been subscribed for so long and you're paying the same price, will continue paying the same price. I'm not gonna fuck you over. Thank you for your support. You're gonna keep the same price. But I will not able to give you the same price when you end your subscription, because that's the way like physics work. Yeah, so I'm sorry.
I'll put it this way. Like we absolutely positively want your support. We really do want your money. But we're not gonna be fucking skis balls to get it.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't have it in me.
I don't have it in me. Yeah.
I don't have it in me in order to fucking lie to you guys in order to take your money. So if I don't feel like I'm giving you guys the value for your money, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
If you guys feel like you're getting your value for the money, please, for the love of God, tell us. It's a very fucked up anxiety in order to have. It's like taking people's money and not knowing whether they feel like they're getting their full value out of it. It sucks in a way. It's a beautiful thing that people want to financially support us. We fucking love it. Where I'm not complaining at all. At all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not a word out of my mouth is going to be complaining about this shit. But we just want to do better by you guys. That's all there is to it. We want to do better by you so that we can grow a little bit more naturally. We've fought and busted our asses to get to this point. And now it's like we can finally see that golden valley down there. Now we just need you guys' help in order to kind of kick us down that hillside so that we can all get to it together. I want to get to that point where we're making more content for you guys. We're doing better stuff, but I can't do it with a full-time job, and neither can Tom.
These changes were literally made because of the results we got in the survey. Of course, all the responses we got in the survey, that is in the link description, do the survey, do it. All these changes were made with the survey results in mind. Of course, I didn't react to all of it because it's just... that's the thing. It's just like I can't, because at the end of the day I have to focus on myself and the show and what I think is right. So every person saying like, "Oh, you should do this." I mean, I'm sorry, but no. But I do listen. The survey is there for a reason. All these changes were made because of the survey results. I'm like, okay, so all of you think that way. What about I do this way? Maybe I can change your mind now. So let's see how it goes. For example, 50%. The main question was, what are your main reasons for not joining Patreon so far? That was a choice, right? That was a question, and it was a multiple choice. Right. 16% said, I only support a few creators. 33% said, they don't feel there's enough value in the Patreon subscription. Like, okay, fair. And 16% said, I haven't gotten around to it. Or like, okay, cool, whatever. But 50% said, I listen casually and I don't really feel like supporting. The people are not connected to the show on that level. I like,
which is fine.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But, and of course, there's like the last remaining percent of our paying Patreon members, which was 16%. So okay, that's fine. But what can I do to make you feel involved in this? Then, all right, I'll make that the bottom tier, which is the $1.60, into a proper tier, up the price, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna make it too low, I'm just basically losing money. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. So let me up the
Patreon charges us.
Yeah. So every charge is taxable. So okay, let me up the price on that thing, and no matter what tier you subscribe, you will get early access to the episode and at least some. And it's only $2. $2 a month. absolutely nothing. You can't even buy a burger, as far as I know, at McDonald's for that money. $2 is absolutely nothing. So hopefully that will encourage you all to join the Patreon and get early access to the show, and your money goes directly to us and not someone else or some different entity. It goes directly to us. So maybe it will encourage you. We'll see if the changes are popular with the people. We'll see. Of course, if it's not popular, I'll change it back and so on, of course. But I think...
Another place you guys can interact with us and talk to us about this stuff? Our Discord.
Yeah, do let us know in the Discord. But yeah, that's the thing. These changes were made because of the survey results and all that kind of stuff, and it's there for a reason, you know. And
that should show you guys just how much we actually care about this shit. I mean, the fact that there was a reaction to the survey results should show it enough. We like I said, we care about this. We always have. We always will. I mean, we try not to half-ass things, especially this. So those that have financially supported us, again, as always, thank you guys very much. Those who are on the fence about it, thank you as well for at least being on the fence about it. We're going to try our best in order to bring you over to this side of the fence. You just got to tell us how. Again, if you want narrative content, you want more stuff. I mean, God forbid, if I could put my auditions up as behind the scenes content, if I was legally allowed to do that, I would totally fucking do that. I don't do enough independent projects where I can get away with that stuff. I mean, I've got a Star Trek mod that I'm a casting director on right now, and not a very good one either, not to mention. And I'm doing directed sessions with a couple of amateurs.
I want to give another.
Afternoon. I mean, I could post that, but does anybody really want to see that?
Yeah, I just want to give another 5-10 minutes, just because, just to throw some ideas so people to understand what the hell we're talking about. For example, you throwing voice acting stuff. That sounds cool. I was, for example, even debating the idea. What if I make like a classes for people to get better at Battlefield and I teach them how to play Battlefield? But again, would you be interested in that, you know?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Battlefield Academy, where today we are going to teach you how to fucking play.
Wanna be Battlefield Academy? Like, granted, I'm not the best player out there, but I'm good enough. You know, I'm above average. You know, I am above average. And loads of people are not that. They can't even leash about like average level. And some people listen. For example, the survey.
We could even make it as like a parody show, like fucking Police Academy. It would be fucking great. I mean,
I was thinking legitimate, teaching people how to play Battlefield. Sure, I can make a YouTube video and so on, but I there's loads of YouTube videos explaining how to play well. But would you want like a coach, maybe, like literally just join? That's what I'm saying. Like, would you want a coach?
No. Idea. Okay, man. We could do like a parody show of like Battlefield Boot Camp, or call it like Battlefield Rookie, where it's like a battle dad who's just picking the game up for the first time, and they join this how to play class, and it's like a parody Battlefield Boot Camp, clear all the way up through till their graduation and first deployment. But we have to pick like the most hated community map ever for this dude's first quote-unquote deployment, and it would just be a total shit show. And like, oh my god, like we could like mix in some like Police Academy aspects to it for like with like visual gags and jokes and shit. Like the fucking the idea that I'm having out of this right now, like it's fucking epic. Like think Battlefield Friends meets Police Academy.
See,
I could fucking do it.
You're looking from an entertainment point of view, and I'm looking like from an education point of view. Do you want to get better at
we
game?
We could do both, but you could mix both into it as well. You could have the battle dad completely just fuck up and be like, I didn't check the fucking room or the corner properly. I tried slide diving into a doorway and got shot because I didn't look, or like shit like that. And then you could have the drill instructor go, and that's where he completely fucked up, recruits. When you enter a building, your goal is to check and make sure that shit's clear. Don't go sliding and flying in like an absolute fucking noob. You know what I mean? I could break out the Arlie Emery impression for that shit. I mean, there's so much creative potential between Tom and I. Like, you guys just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's wild. But, I mean, if that's the type of shit you guys want to see, fucking let us know. Please, please. If you've got ideas, put them out there. I will run with any good idea.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, there's loads of brainstorming happening in the background, and it's just like, I need to come up with something. Like, listen, again, guys, I love hosting the podcast and everything, but at the same time, if I see the podcast is not bringing any value and it's not growing and so on whatsoever, I don't think I'm gonna host the podcast for the longer or continue with it, because if I see there's no progress and no progression, I'm like, I'll work on something else that is more meaningful. I'm sorry, but that's the thing. If it doesn't
We
grow,
don't want to get stale either.
yeah. One, I don't want to get stale, and two, if it doesn't grow, I'm sorry. Again, like I said, I'm 30-year-old man. I can do other things that are a bit more beneficial to, flex my creative juices, right? Like, I'd rather do something else then, and I'd rather fully focus on YouTube than, like, the podcast, all that kind of stuff, right? So if I see the progress is not there, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's realistically, I will not continue with the podcast if I see there's no progress, right? And sure, a couple of the last 2 months, some of the episodes we did, I think we could do better. I was not happy with some of them. Some of them, I think we were just a bit shit. But people were okay with them, so that's good. Of course, some people, like, for example, the last one, people were like, okay, that happens, but I'm not gonna change the whole podcast show or plan or whatever, how we are and so on, just because some people got upset. I'm sorry, like, if it takes you one episode to get upset, I'm not gonna work on eggshells. I'm sorry, that's the thing. I'm not gonna. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Good luck.
We are who we are.
Yeah, good luck. Maybe other podcasts are your type of thing, but that's fine. I'm not gonna change myself just for you. So that's that. But yeah, when it comes to, like, the future of the podcast, we'll continue a weekly basis. Yes. For example, I was thinking maybe I'll do more solo episodes. And Ray maybe can do more Patreon episodes with me. Maybe that's a solution. Maybe, because if he's not available,
hide me behind the paywall.
yeah, literally hide you behind the paywall. Maybe that. But that means we can do more. But that means we can do more Patreon episodes if that's the case.
This is true.
So
this is very true.
There's, like, you will not get Ray on a regular basis for the Battlefield 1 podcast, maybe, but you will get more Patreon episodes. So that's that. So
I would feel really
trade-off.
Really shitty if my hiatus causes viewership in order to drop off. I would feel very shitty. So guys, keep that in mind. Everybody.
Well, here's the thing. I was checking how the solo episodes are doing of just me. They're doing fine. They're doing pretty much the same numbers.
There you go.
So that's why I'm debating. Maybe I can just have you on Patreon episode, because I have you for a limited time. For limited days. So I'm like, okay. Maybe I can have you on the Patreon episodes. We can do more Patreon episodes instead of, like, having 1 or 2 episodes a month. Maybe we can have, like, 4 or 5. Like, maybe we can do that. And we still have regular Battlefield 1 podcast episodes and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, if you're okay with me just hosting by myself, people, just let me know. This is not a concrete plan or whatever. This is just an idea. So let me know how you feel about that. I need to know what people think. Are you okay with this or not? Because listen, we need to grow. I'm sorry, with all due respect, we need to grow. Like, and we need to bring more value to it, because people say, like, I don't think the Patreon brings some value. Yes, it's more like a principle of supporting us. Yes, in a sense, but at the same time, I do kind of want to provide the content. But then again, I'm just only one person. That's the problem. I'm only literally just one person.
I would put it this way: if we would get enough supporters, this has always been something, and I never told you about this. I always felt that if we would ever get enough Patreon supporters, that it would only be that one of us would be able to be financially independent, and depending on the Patreon supporters, I would put you ahead of me for one reason and one reason only: you would have substantially more time in order to focus on content. I have always felt like I've just been the sideshow in this whole thing. I'm not going to lie.
With all due respect, yeah, you are. With all due respect.
We're just going to leave it at that. So, that being said, like, if it ever would get to that point, it would be Tom first who would become financially independent, and just because he'd be able to make more content. So, if that be how fate wants to play, then by all means, let it go. I'm not going to fucking be envious I'll be envious of it, but I'm not going to be fucking spiteful about it.
I mean,
I got my own shit I could end up being financially independent on if I could just get my ass moving and stop blocking myself when it comes to auditioning for roles. That's been my problem for a couple of years now, and now that I've had a realization, I'm no longer doing that shit anymore either.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave that at that.
Yeah. But yeah, podcast future, I think it looks bright, honestly. There's some growth problems I need to sort out, because there's certain things that I need to sort out, to promote the podcast more often to other people and so on. Because I do think the potential is there, the community is there, definitely, the numbers are there and so on. I mean, people say like, oh, Battlefield 6 is getting stale right now. Can be a fun episode, but no, the people are still there. It's just they don't know that we exist, and that's the thing. So I'll try to bring more guests this upcoming year. I will try to bring more guests, because I think we do need more guests, just because I think that will be a perfect opportunity to, expose ourselves to other content creators and their audiences. And like, oh yeah, there's a thing called BattlefieldOne podcast, and they do on the weekly episodes, and they talk about Battlefield, that kind of stuff. So I think it's a perfect opportunity. It gives the content creators opportunity to talk about themselves and just be honest, other than just, some people like talking videos and so on, like it's scripted. But this time we're like, hey, talk about, just be yourself, just be honest with how you feel about stuff, and no one's gonna judge you, all that kind of stuff, because it's
just chill and chat, homie.
Yeah, so I will try to bring more guests this upcoming year, and we'll try to promote more, and we'll see how with Ray goes and so on. So he's not leaving anyway, but you just have to, like I said, realize that in the upcoming year I'll have to be without him.
I have to go be a dad.
Yeah, he'll have to be a dad, and that's why you have a fucking vasectomy.
Coming soon. Actually, won't be anymore.
Funny. Oh yeah.
That's on the bucket list already.
For anyone that doesn't know, I did have a vasectomy. It was mentioned on the podcast, not podcast, Discord.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah, me and Mateo we can't. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for listening, I guess. Thank you guys for all the support, all that good stuff.
Thank you guys for a great 2025.
Amazing 2025, yeah. Amazing
2025,
yep. Amazing 2025. Like, the listeners we got and the growth we got and all that kind of stuff, it's just amazing. I can't thank you enough. Just the fact that you guys come on a regular basis, listen to us, and just listen to our rambling about Battlefield, and
it's wild.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, we give a shit what we produce. We do give a shit. Of course, we're not gonna get it right all the time.
Might not seem like it.
It might. Some people thought we didn't give a shit. We just shitting on the game for the sake of shitting. I'm like, no, stop. Just go outside, touch some grass. I swear to God.
I think one of the episodes we ought to do, but I think we ought to do as a retrospective is not a lot of people know how all this started, how all this came together. So I mean,
yeah, the website exists there with the history, but it doesn't explain the whole history.
It's not the full history.
Yeah.
It's not the full story.
Yeah,
it's not. There is a lot more.
Oh, there's loads of layers. Yeah,
started.
There's loads of layers.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll make it put this abundantly clear. Like, this production is the reason why I kind of have a career in voice acting to begin with. I wouldn't have even considered working with my voice at all until I started working with Tom. So that's just how deep and layered this whole damn thing is. I mean, I could even argue up to and including probably meeting my wife too, is all tied in with this. And it's crazy. It's wild. So if you guys want to hear that story, it's a tale we could tell. We could actually sit and tell it, and it would just, we could do it as a free Patreon thing for everybody. Everybody would be able to partake and listen to it. And, that's the type of shit that we love doing. Just the bullshit chatting, being ourselves. And we love doing it when it comes to
realistically,
talking about
I
this
actually
franchise.
never imagined to be a podcast host to begin with. And it's...
Nope.
I mentioned the first time before we started doing the first original Battlefield 1 podcast episodes back in 2014 or 15 or whatever it was. Like, even then, it's like, yeah, I would like to do a podcast, but as I'm listening, oh my God, the presentation and everything, it was absolute cringe. I don't know how the hell people listened back then for 42 episodes.
You could tell we had some growing to do even back then. Because I go back once in a while. I mean, God, there's stuff that I have on my channel that is blacklisted now that is old content. I mean, God, my Hardline review, my Hardline beta review, holy cringe, Batman. What the fuck is audio leveling? I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm proud of doing that, but the audio leveling was fucking horrible.
Audio leveling on the original Battlefield 1 podcast was abysmal. Abysmal.
Yep.
Holy fuck. Abysmal.
Basic shit we couldn't get right.
Abysmal.
I mean, and we were throwing everything we had at making the best production we could, but there was just dumb shit.
See, this is why I get
should not have
this is
been.
why I got annoyed at that particular comment saying like, "Oh, you guys scream too much to the microphone." I'm like, when did we do that? Boy, you have no fucking idea why. If this is your first episode, I'm sorry, but then
Holy balls.
like, dude, no, you have no idea. If you think this is us shouting, you haven't heard us shouting. You haven't heard us shouting. You didn't.
I mean, I'm sitting in a I'm sitting in a mostly professional recording studio right now. I just got the door open. That's the only thing. But I mean, if I really, really want to push those balls, baby, just tempt
when
me.
I get really emotional and actually say, like, you know what, all the gloves are off, I'm like, bruh, I will burn some freaking bridges and none of you will be alive. I will call every single person with no irony whatsoever. It's just like,
there would be some salt.
yeah, I'm sorry, I am tame on the podcast. I am tame as fuck.
It's not a joke either. I mean, shit, and we're tame now compared to how we used to be. So, but that being said, I feel like we're starting to run around in circles
I need
again.
to start making football like that stuff. So anyway, guys.
This is true. I gotta go start getting my.
All right, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks from now when you're listening to this. Will be some behind the scenes stuff. Andre might be coming back because I did talk to him because I went to Germany to see him for a day. That was fun. And we talked about that kind of stuff. We talked about the podcast in person. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. The new Patreon changes are up and running. So please enjoy all the changes. You know, please go support us. You know, because it's Christmas. You know, in holidays and everything. We'll accept every Patreon subscription and donation you can give us. It's the season of the giving, right?
Get the gift for yourself that keeps on giving with a holiday subscription to the Lanky Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the support we got this year. And, yeah, I got nothing else to say. You know, I think we judged ourselves already a lot. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next year. We'll see you in 2026. Fuck, 2026. Shit, man. I still live in 2016. Jesus. Fuck me.
Let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
That being said, thank you, ladies and
guys,
gentlemen, for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your patronage. Thank you guys for your support. We love you as always. You know where to find the survey. You know where to find us. You know how to get a hold of us. Follow us on our socials. Find our Discord. Come hang out, talk, chat, game with us. We do squad up and we play some Battlefield once in a great while. That being said, good night, everybody. Have a happy new year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of those wonderful fun things. Nobody is left out on this end. Good night, everybody.